right, for our next segment, we are going to talk about what we kind of previewed yesterday in our short, Gen Y and Gen Z. And we actually have a representative from each of those generations sitting right here.
Oh, thank you.
No, we didn't say the greatest generation, Art.
Thank you.
You also didn't mention millennial douche canoes, but here I am.
Well, that's Gen Y is also millennials.
Oh, okay.
Did you not see my short yesterday? I had to look all that up.
So, this is a bit.
Oh, my God. That's a good one, Nabil. Are you a comedian as part of your work?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, do we technically have everybody from a generation here?
We're missing, what's after?
I'm a boomer, actually.
Yeah,
Right.
Boomer,
So Boomer,
Gen
X,
X.
Y, Z.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
So this truly is a generational podcast.
Wow.
It's
No.
almost like we planned it.
That is deep.
We didn't.
That is deep. So basically, what the short said yesterday was, do millennials and Zoomers, do they suck?
Well, I have a problem with every generation.
Yeah,
but we'll
you got to
get
get your
that
microphone
later.
closer so we can hear these opinions. Put your face on it.
Him or me?
No, Art.
Oh.
You almost have it in your mouth. That's weird. But yeah. So we're gonna figure out if they suck or if it's just society. You know, we don't know.
Or if Kylie's just grumpy from
Couldn't we
being
just
related
argue
to you?
that everybody's got pros and
be.
cons?
Oh, yeah.
I
No.
don't know. Gen X is pretty badass. So we're like the badass generation.
I heard pretty in there, as in like not 100% badass.
Well, I don't want to brag.
Well, I
you know
heard
how I hate doing that.
something like a week ago, which like prompted me to talk to you about this.
Okay.
But like with the generations, well, I can't swear in here, but
You can swear,
somebody
but
was saying,
your grandmother's gonna hear it.
"Hey, grandma," but like so Gen X is like F you, Gen Y is F me, and Gen Z is F it. Like
Everybody?
that's
Like
pretty,
everything.
yeah, like everything.
Wow.
And I think that's a pretty good.
I would say, what do the boomers do?
Yeah, I
You're
was
like,
about to
what?
ask.
The boomers are like, I just need a
What?
nap.
What was that?
Can someone show me what time the clock says so I can take my nap? And maybe my ginkgo biloba?
Ooh, ginkgo.
Ginkgo.
I keep forgetting.
I know. Oh, we know.
But if you took it, you wouldn't forget.
That's the problem.
Exactly. That's
a
the
quandary, really.
catch-22 on that one. I got it, but I don't remember to take it. Yeah.
I'm more of a catch me if you can kind of guy.
Well, I will admit that in this current age, it is a little more difficult for these younger generations to achieve the same kind of goals that we achieved when we were younger.
Yeah, I think that's a.
It's difficult.
I think it's a little more difficult. I think the
Why
I mean,
don't you?
society has made it more
no,
difficult?
I think financially.
Why don't you give us a comparable?
All right. So
Yeah,
like,
what are you saying?
when you're trying to buy a house?
Oh, this is actually perfect. You can even use this house as an example.
Right. Well, I mean, but they increased in value. We bought this house.
Everything.
All right. Well, Well, we paid $136,000 for this house in 2001.
Wow, that's pretty great.
2001, 2002. Currently, it's worth approximately $400,000.
Yep.
I was
So if you
gonna
got the
say three.
same, if you took the income I was making then, compared it to the cost of this house,
So
and then
adjusted for inflation.
now if you adjust the inflation, my income would not have been enough to pay for the house at its current value.
Not even with all the overtime.
But that happens
Well, that's a different
always
story,
too.
though.
That's not just
I know
right
things
now.
increase, but I think
And what'll happen is the market's going to turn around, and it's going to get where people aren't buying them, and then the prices will come down.
I don't think in our area we're affected by that as much.
we aren't as much. You're right.
No, not even close. Like to the
But
big cities.
across the country, there was already last month was like the biggest drop in new home buyers in years.
From
And that's
people
the
buying
kind of thing
homes.
that will bring home prices down, and then
Right.
people will start buying them again.
But
it's
just
cyclical.
but I think that the cost of goods has increased quicker than the cost of salaries.
Now,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question? When you did buy the house in 2001, was it like a single what do you call it? Single earner or
Income?
single
No,
income.
no.
You both
Dual income. We both
Dual
worked.
income?
Yeah, we
Okay,
both always
okay.
worked. Yeah.
All right.
When I was looking to buy my house, I made like $5 an hour.
Whoa.
And I bought a house,
Yeah.
But how much was your house?
$75,000.
Yeah, so that house right now is $400,000, and
I get it.
and even at your $5 an hour,
But
if
now
you quadruple
people
it,
at
you're only making
minimum
20.
or minimum wage is $15 an hour.
And
now.
that's
But
only 3
it's
times
still,
more
like-
than what you made, and the house is worth at least 4 times plus.
But they
what
don't
you
have to
paid
buy
for it.
my house. There's
But that's
other
what I'm
houses
saying.
on
But
the market.
that's
Well,
a general example.
Here's
Go
a
ahead, Kylie,
really
I'm
good
sorry.
example because I just bought my first house last June. It is literally a third of the size of this house. Like this, you have like 6 bedrooms and 3 baths and whatever. Our house currently is like, there is a second floor, but they're really tiny rooms. It's like 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a fraction of a backyard.
Right.
So it's crazy when you told me that this house, being as gigantic as it is, and there's a lot of land, you paid 136. My house was 155.
Right.
And I was
for
like,
a third.
for a third
of the house
size.
with a quarter of the land.
Yeah, which was crazy too, especially now, like, well, first time home buyers and stuff, we're in like escrow. So we actually have to pay more than what our mortgage is per month for like a year and a half.
And your
or something.
house, I think you got at the time it was anyway, when I was looking around, was a really good price.
It literally was one of the cheapest ones we looked at. And I don't know, it was like, and he will never let me live this down because I really didn't even want to look at this house. But for the price, I was shocked at like how good the condition is.
Well, it did need work. It needs a little work still.
Oh yeah, no, it's like 200 years old, which is cool, but it's also a 200-year-old house.
Right.
So we're constantly doing stuff to fix it, but in comparison to like what other houses were being sold for, it was crazy because it was like I remember one they listed for almost 200, and it was like halfway done. Like ceilings needed to be finished, floors needed to be redone. Like they didn't picture this, obviously. They didn't put it in the Zillow listing, but the furnace was in the living room and needed to be brought downstairs.
It wasn't even hooked up yet.
It was at the height of Property Brothers. You know, people
So
wanted to
somebody
do a lot
was
of
just
home renos.
building the house?
I don't know if they were like remodeling it or bought it.
It looked like
to
a
resell.
renovation.
Yeah,
I know
like
the
a
one you're
renovation.
talking about because I looked at it too.
Yeah, and it was like we got there and it was the back. I mean, there was more yard space, I guess, but it was like you would have to sink at least like probably $100,000 of your own
That sounds
dollars
about right.
over the course of however many years to actually fix it up. So
Fun thought too. So for the one that you got, that's 155. You know, compared to what this one is now. Imagine what that one would have been if it it was on the market in 2001.
oh my gosh, yeah, probably
yeah.
only like
I bet it
50K,
would have been
$60,000,
$50,000-$60,000
yeah.
probably. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I just don't think that the wages kept up with inflation. I don't even think it was close.
But if we were going to say this, I would have liked to have seen some numbers.
I just gave you numbers.
I know. I'd like to know wages compared to
Actually,
home,
I did watch.
average home values in the 80s.
I did watch a
compared to
video-
20s and the 2020s.
I watched a video on something comparable to that, but it was more along the lines of what the top 1% makes compared to everybody else, basically.
Well, that's not the same thing at all.
And just like inflation, which is also a video I watched, that shot way up while everything else was a little increase.
yeah.
right.
So like wages for the 1% went way up, which I've never really said that before because I didn't really believe it until I did some research into it. And their salary shot up significantly higher than the average workers did.
Sure. So
Shocking.
and just to
It is ridiculous. It happened like in the mid 80s.
just to rein you in a little bit though. So we did start this talking about a generational thing, and then we
Yes.
kind of got into houses. So do we just to kind of refocus? Do we think that it's more likely that the younger generations are less apt to be home buyers at the moment versus the older generation, which are either already have owned their homes for a long
Right.
time, or they would buy without any problems?
What do you think?
Well, it's tough because I have heard my entire life, and you maybe as a millennial as well, like we are lazy and we talk back and we don't do our jobs.
You are
and
sassy.
Blah, blah, but
Checking a lot of boxes here.
Yeah, right.
but
Got
the counter to that is like I've also been told my entire life, like, oh well, if you work really hard every single day, like it will pay off at some point. But
It
it
will.
doesn't. But it doesn't seem
It
like
doesn't seem like that because you're young.
Well, you're very young. I
That's
know you
true.
want it now. That's okay.
They
That's
don't
how you
say
should be.
they don't say when it'll pay off.
No, it'll pay off
Right.
when you're like retirement age, honestly.
Because just from my point of view, even when I met you, we didn't do anything. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
We had a very strict budget in our house. I only had like $5 a week was my spending money for myself.
Jesus.
And all of a sudden, after years had gone by, things were loosening up, our wages were going up, and then your father's like, "Well, let's go out to dinner," and I'm like, "We don't go out to dinner." And
Oh,
he goes,
man.
"Why not?" And so we did,
And now
and I'm like, "Oh,
you got the opposite problem
can
now.
actually
we can
afford
afford it." And
Right.
now, as we're retired and our homes are paid off and things like, I'm like,
right.
we have a lot of disposable income now,
Like, you
and
don't
it's
even-
shocking. I don't know exactly how it happened, but it.
And you're still a little cheap. I don't understand it.
I don't even know.
Get a
what
new
kinda-
car for Christ's
What kind of
sake.
food this guy would cook me? I mean, like, I see he goes out more than
If you
anything.
want to cook you something, he needs to bake cookies for you. That's
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
his,
I do
uh,
make good cookies.
that's his
Alright,
thing.
alright.
That's his Christmas time
Yeah,
thing.
10 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Thank you.
But now, as far as what you said, I think it is a little different as far as what your generation wants, because I know a lot of people in your generation, they don't even want their driver's license when they turn 16.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was actually
That's weird
a
to me.
problem when I was like the second person in my friend group, like as soon as I turned 16, I like got my permit and wanted to drive and
I
that
mean,
sort
like,
of stuff.
everybody should want to be out on the road, and then
Right.
as soon as they can get that car, like just zoom out,
Well, I
Yeah.
know kids who are 19, 20 don't have their licenses yet.
But
and don't have the
And don't have the desire.
desire.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
so there's that. Like I had a couple of friends that just didn't want to drive, but we also have things like Uber, and like I guess they're not thinking that'll be more expensive in the long run, but whatever.
Yeah.
But
But you don't have to own a car.
Nope.
I mean, you don't. There's
Yeah.
a lot
You
of
don't have the
things.
expenses that go along with
Yeah.
it,
yeah,
which should give you more money.
well, cars are like
Theoretically.
expensive too, right? And if
That's what I
people
mean.
aren't being able to save as much money, like theoretically that car payment would fall onto the parents. And if
Yeah, we
their
know.
yeah, but if their parents can't provide the funds for their child's car, like, well, the parents
he
need to
can.
get to work and
You can-
oh yeah,
You need a new car.
lot of garage sales.
Do you need a car?
What do you think paid for that one?
Let's get her a new car.
Whatever. When you do. How about when you get one and we'll talk?
I have to buy Audrina one coming up here
Oh my
pretty
God.
soon.
Oh, nice.
Grandchildren.
Ooh, there you go.
But yeah, I think there is definitely a generational difference as far as our attitudes towards ownership, like you were saying.
well, that and work in itself. Like I think my generation has now I wouldn't say like laid back, but we don't care quite as much about like the like retail jobs and that sort of stuff because it to me and me having, worked these jobs, it doesn't feel like the paycheck kind of equates to what I have to put up with. And not me personally, but watching my coworkers and stuff getting told like, oh, well, you're not going above and beyond. And it's like, well, why would I? Like for minimum wage, dealing with what I have to deal with, like I'm going to do the bare minimum, like exactly what you have asked of me. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to go and do more than that. And I think that a lot of older people have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think that's what people think.
I would have a problem with that, I think. Too.
Yeah.
Even though I did that to the state for 25 years.
I think their response would probably be something along the lines of like, how do you get farther if you don't do it?
Right.
And there's there's a back and forth. There's a conversation. The generation might say, well, I don't know if I'm going to go farther. Maybe I'll do all that extra work and I won't get anything for it.
Right.
It's just
But that's kind of what you were saying before, that people are saying work hard and you'll
get what
get
you want.
ahead.
You'll get ahead. you'll
But
do
working
whatever.
hard means doing more than the minimum.
Right.
Which
And honestly, we
Is-
did the same thing. I mean, when I started, minimum wage was like $2.75 an hour.
oh my god.
And I worked at McDonald's.
Jesus.
And we always did everything. Plus, we we
Right.
played sports teams. We did everything above and beyond. And I think you guys don't understand that. You might, because you're a little older, and you're actually a workaholic yourself
yeah, and you
with
too, you're a
19
good
jobs,
worker.
and you do too. Right?
not
That's
lazy.
just because how you were raised, I think.
Hey.
But in general,
Can we have applause for Steve?
Oh,
He's such a good dad.
stop it. Hold on a second. Wait,
Wow.
that was not as good as
Is that a
the other one.
blender?
No.
It's applause. Whatever.
Sounds like a chainsaw.
But no, like I was raised in a good household, so I have a good work ethic, but I think I was a people pleaser for a super duper long time. And people will take advantage of that
When were you that here?
professionally
Yeah.
in a
Wow.
workplace.
Oh, so it was never when we needed you to clean your room, or vacuum the living room, or wash your car,
Ooh.
or mow the lawn.
Whoa. Hold on. I believe I probably vacuumed this house way more than you have.
Not recently. I've caught up.
And
I don't
she
live here
cooked
anymore.
every meal you ate.
Most of them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Got him.
Do you eat out more now or when Kylie was young?
Their fridge looks so sad. Like when I come over, I'm like,
Well,
there
It's
is
because he
nothing
poured
in here.
everything into the bread.
Yeah, I was
There's
about to say
nothing
use
left.
Yeah.
2 different kinds of cheese that were not even the same
cheeses.
kind.
and two
Two
different
dressings.
dressings.
You couldn't make that bread the same twice.
Frank's. No, you can't. It's impossible. It is impossible.
And it's impossible for them to make that bread
Yes, it
the
is.
same way.
Yes, it is. But yeah. So I think that maybe you don't. Your generation. I don't want to say you. When I say you, I don't mean you. I mean your generation
Yeah.
doesn't see
You people.
You people are getting on my nerves. But at the same time, I don't think you actually see what these little savings and little things that you should be doing that you complain about, how they're going to pay off 20 years from now.
And that's probably true too.
It's short-sightedness.
But I think that's always the case. Also,
did
it's
you-
not
It
this
seems like every
generation.
Yeah,
generation.
but I was saying, did
parents
you
tell-
at that age?
No, of course
Exactly.
Well, like a big
course not.
thing too for me is like, you need to talk to mom and like grandma, all because like my grandma's my best friend. So talking to her, all that stuff.
not. I'm still her favorite, though.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Wow.
totally.
Whatever.
Anyways, but like
Sorry, Mark.
in like even like a political sense, like from what I've heard, like nobody cared about politics until they hit like 30. But and
Yeah,
that's
I can
largely
see that.
part of like the internet, I'm assuming. But like
Now-
that
now
seems to
everybody has an
be-
opinion
I think
Everybody
all the time.
has an opinion.
A lot of college kids. When you're
Yeah.
in college
Oh,
and
you
you're
feel-
talking
you
to a
feel
lot of
empowered
people
about the
with
world.
different opinions,
I think
I feel like that activates a lot of people.
I believe in college, you're talking to
feel
a lot of
activated there?
people with one opinion. That's what screws up these college kids.
Oh boy.
Most of their instructors are very liberal, almost Marxist. Whatever, that's fine. I said it.
Who's Mark?
Ist.
More.
You apologizing to Mark again?
Sorry again. Things happen. But yeah, as far as the minimum wage goes, what's it, 15 an hour?
It's
And-
15.50.
15.50 an hour.
But and this is something too, like we were just talking about this the other day, how I think it like should be illegal for businesses, like if you're a waiter, waitress, like I was a barista recently, the owners of whatever don't have to pay you the minimum wage
If you
because
get
there's
tips.
a promise of potential tips.
Right.
And to be fair, and I know this, but if like the tips don't make up your income, they do have to pay that difference. But it still is like,
How do they know exactly how much you made in tips if the people leave you cash and stuff?
well, they count them. We don't just take them immediately, or at least at my
Someone
last job.
else
It's like
takes the money first,
yeah.
or do you split it up among everybody?
That's
Is that the type
how-
of place it was?
Yes, it was pooled. And there was a lot of
Which is
online
nonsense, I
tips.
think.
That's
too.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
not. I don't agree with that either. But I don't.
I also don't agree with companies hiring these people and not paying a minimum wage. That should be
Yeah.
your baseline.
And that's not a generational thing. But I
No,
agree
that's-
too. We
that's a
should get
common
rid of
sense thing.
tipping culture. I don't care what your price is. Make your price. Add $10 to the meal if
And then
that's
we'll
what you
decide if
have
we
to
wanna
do,
go
and then
there.
I'll get it or not get
Right.
it. Right.
Right.
And pay the people
But as
that
far
work
as
there
but the
minimum wage at
employers
least.
hiring these individuals and then saying you're not going to make minimum wage because you might get tips is bullshit.
Yeah, no, and that's like, I don't know. I hadn't worked in a place like that in a while. Like I had worked in a restaurant like right outside of high school, and then I worked at a local cafe most recently. But yeah, it was like it was funny because the owner was like, "Oh yeah, no, so you're definitely going to make at least minimum wage," and she said like 4 times. I'm like, okay. She goes, "But we're gonna start you at 13 an hour," and I was like,
Oh, that's pretty good.
But it's not 15.50.
But you only need $2 an hour, $2.50.
But our
in
well, at least
tips
my
to
argument
make
is
it up.
your tip should not be your salary. Your
Yeah.
tip should be based on the service you provide. And if someone wants to give you a little bit extra because you did a little bit extra,
"Well, that's what I
that shouldn't
like,
be your minimum wage.
If you get hired by this employer, they hired you. The customers didn't hire you.
Right.
Like if they want to give you something, like sure, that's nice.
Yes.
But like the customers are not paying you your paycheck, or they shouldn't be.
I agree.
that
But they
seems-
are. That's what
but
you're
they
saying,
should be,
yeah.
is what we're saying. Yeah, that's my opinion.
But everybody does that. We're not changing that.
Well, we can talk about it though. I don't agree with it. I think it's ridiculous. I think you're robbing these people, honestly.
That's why they get so many.
But
high
that's a
schoolers,
different
though.
conversation than the
No,
generation.
well, we're getting right into all of it. We're taking care of all of this. Get your opinions out.
Get rid of tip. I agree with.
I don't
people
know. I'm
should
not
get a
saying
minimum wage.
I'm not saying get rid of tipping.
Why not?
Because I think if someone gives you a service and they do a good job or go above and beyond, you should give them a little extra. I always do. But as far as
if you go into Lowe's and some guy runs out back and gets you your plywood that you need and everything, brings up front, you tip him.
if I felt I needed
Have you
to, I
tipped
would.
him?
I've never
Ever?
done that. No.
No. So that you
Because
don't
he's
do
not.
that.
But he's not making.
Because that's not the tipping
but
culture.
he's not making a salary that relies on tips.
And then nobody should be. We're saying that. But you're saying even if they did get a salary and didn't rely on tips, you would tip them.
For example,
But
like,
you don't.
for restaurants. That's
that's
my
different 'cause they do
primary.
rely
That's
on
my
it.
primary focus. But even if they didn't, if they made minimum wage and they were an amazing waiter or waitress, I'm going to give them a little. Because they're spending an hour with
That's
me.
because you've grown up doing that. We all know that. When you go to a restaurant, they live on their tips.
I would point
we all
out,
know that.
I would point out that that's not the only job in the service industry that relies on tips. You know, there's things like hair salon,
Oh, right,
hair
right.
cutting,
Hi, I'm an
Estheticians?
esthetician,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
also get tips.
right?
Right.
And,
Yeah,
Well, and a thing for me too is like people, because in my industry you hear all the time like charge what you're worth. They're like charge what you think you're worth, but that's hard when you're in an area like this where I mainly focus in on skincare, and that's what I'm passionate about, so that's what I want to do. However, that usually falls like bottom of the barrel when you're talking about getting your nails done, getting your hair done. Like those are things that people will do regularly. Skincare takes a bit more convincing. And because we don't live in a city or anything, I feel like I can't charge as much as I probably want to. So
As much as you would in a larger metropolitan area.
Right.
Well, I think people look at that as a luxury item
Yes.
when realistically, I mean, if you want to look good when you're 60, that starts in your 20s.
Oh my.
You know what I'm saying? How do you think I got this? You know what I mean?
Obviously, you were
Obviously,
Genetics?
I was I was doing
taking
some,
care of yourself for many years.
throwing some crazy water on my face at times. Just imagine if I had taken some more pointers back.
Your
in the day.
diet must be impeccable.
It
And
involves a
your
lot of
skincare
buffalo
regimen
chicken
is
bread.
perfect.
So is
that
Real close.
Is the
to
moral of
perfect.
the story that because you're
we already had this conversation.
because you're Gen X, we should call it Steve's FU bread?
Oh, that sounds about right.
Also, because we're not giving out the recipe.
If you don't like it, then we can fit that right in there. Especially if you think there's too much ranch on it.
Well, back to the tipping too. I don't think they should be splitting the tips like your place did, where everybody combines them. I understand like some places want to like say, oh, well, the guy doing the dishes gets some of that too or whatever, but
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the case.
Well, also like
He's not doing the service.
right. So at least in the coffee shop I worked in, there was only really ever two of us working at once. So we kind of but we floated around. We weren't assigned like you're in the kitchen, you're up front. So we did both
Everything.
jobs and cleaning and all of that stuff. So in
And it
that
went
sense,
pretty well between the two of you.
me and my
your
the coworker,
communication?
yes, yeah. I worked with really one person, and that was pretty much it. And she was lovely. It was a family-owned place, and the owner did not like me at all.
Oh, boy.
So that was pretty rough. But between my coworker and I, it was always very easy. It flowed like really, really well. So pooling tips in that sense made sense because, you know, we're both doing everything and it would be hard to be like, if you just tip the kitchen, like nobody just tips the kitchen, by the way, in a coffee shop.
No,
Right. So
nowhere.
in that sense, it like pooling it works. But like if I was going up to tables, then yeah, like I wouldn't want to share what I directly worked for.
And I don't think you should have to.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean. And then you're getting, because if you, like you were saying, the better your service, the better your tip.
Right.
And then they're giving half of that to someone else or
that
whatever,
does make
which
sense
is
to me.
they didn't earn that tip.
I did wait tables in college for a little bit, and I do remember you had to tip out bussers. I mean, bussers did help with your service.
But
Right.
wouldn't that be like I give
Yeah.
the waiter or waitress a tip and then they decide if they
Well,
want to give the bussers a little
And,
extra?
and you can't
I
say
got
anything.
told I had to. I didn't get told how much I had to, so I usually gave like 30%.
But you're young and you're not going to say anything to your boss at that place. But I mean,
Like, no, fuck the busser.
oh, you could say, well, why don't you pay him? Why don't you pay the busser? And then I don't have to give him out of my money that I'm
Yeah,
earning.
and then that's my last shift.
Right, exactly.
That's true, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I know you couldn't say that at that time, but
You could think it.
the busser works there. He should get paid to work there.
Right.
I agree.
Well, I think that's a generational thing too. Is it seems like people my age are more comfortable speaking up against things that they see wrong in the workplace, and not all of it is like valid, and I get that. But like, I will say, I think the main reason why my employer didn't like me at this most recent job was because when she said something that didn't make sense, and I was never rude about it. I made sure, like I was always. Like, no, when I talked to her, I
I've
was
seen you
always
be
like,
rude to me.
okay, well, you're dad, so that's different.
Yeah.
But like professionally, I'm like, hey, this
Maybe
doesn't
you
make
should
sense.
shut up, Steve. Sorry.
But like
Wow.
That's going to cost me.
for like clarification
It's going to be a problem.
purposes and stuff, I was like, hey, can you just tell me this again, or maybe I misunderstood or whatever. She did not like that, so I was pretty much forced into quitting. It was a very odd situation, but like I think as a result of me like being like, hey, that doesn't make sense. Can you just like explain that to me? Or I got dress coded for the first time in my entire life after asking explicitly, like, it was about black leggings. And I was like, hey, you said I can wear black pants. Do black leggings count as black pants? Read it like it was a text, did not answer. And a week later, I got written up. And she's like, well, you can't wear leggings. It's not allowed here. And it wasn't in the handbook or anything like that.
But they could have answered you in the text then and
Yeah.
not
appropriate.
written you up.
But right, exactly. So at that point, I was like, well, I actually did ask you. You just did not respond. And then I think ever since, she just...
Employee,
seems like now-
employee actions are best helped by good communication from their managers.
Wow.
Yeah.
It might be me because
Was
I'm
that in the
older,
handbook?
but aren't there a lot more jobs? You have a lot more choices of jobs now too, and I mean, because I see all kinds of places where they can't get enough people to work.
You would think that, and even I can say like outside of high school when I was trying to get hired, every place is like, oh, we're hiring, but like not actually. And then it was interesting talking to like all of my friends are nurses, and what they have found is that they'll apply for a job, go through interviews, and like maybe on their third interview, they're like, actually, we filled the position. A week later, that position is back
Still
up,
open.
but it's because those places get funding for hiring employees. And I know Allie recently, my cousin Allie was struggling. She applied to like every job, but like they just, and she's like the straightest A, like best. She is a hard worker. So it was crazy to hear that like she tried like, I think 8 places and none of them hired her. So that's another thing that I hear from like older people. I think they're
I don't
like,
like
this
to,
generation's not working, but
I don't like to name drop, but do they know who her uncle is? I mean, I don't like to use the influencer term that often.
God.
Yeah,
Here we
you
go.
rarely use
I don't like to bring it up, but maybe she should do a little name dropping or bring me on an interview sometime. I'll go in. I have a lot of downtime.
she works at Starbucks now, and I feel like you won't step foot in a Starbucks.
Starbucks, they supported Black Lives Matter back in the day, so I don't.
You don't have to step in. They have a
Starbucks.
drive-through.
That's true. Thank you, Nabil.
Thanks. Good point, Nabil. I'm glad you chimed
It's a
in.
good
on
thing
that
we
one.
have all generations.
Yeah, this is awesome.
represented.
Yeah,
But
this
also,
is really
I hear Seven Brews is pretty good.
Seven Brews.
I'm not a
is-
coffee guy.
I've
but
heard really good things. I've never been
I
there.
really like some of their coffees, but they're expensive.
I'll put in my 2 cents
Yeah.
because I've heard Seven Brew is the Gen Z coffee shop right
Oh.
now.
It's always packed.
Wow.
But it is definitely meant for like, I think high schoolers, like middle schoolers, high schoolers, because, and this makes me sound like I feel like a grandma, but like I don't really like sweet coffee.
What?
And like occasionally, sure, but
Yeah.
like I'm not loading it up with anything. However, like they have
Lot of
customizations,
flavors.
a lot of flavors, but like you can, their whole thing is like you can customize anything, right? So you get a coffee, and I would always order mine like a quarter sweet because I'm like, that makes sense.
That's
But-
how they do it. Quarter sweet.
Like quarter, half,
Oh.
full, and then you can do like more. But even at a quarter sweet, I was like, this just tastes like sugar and milk to me. So for
Which
that,
is how I
That
like
sounds delicious.
right?
That's
So
how I like
it,
it.
it depends on how you like your coffee.
Steve,
Yeah.
stop having the taste of a middle schooler.
Well, that's
Well,
what this
have you
mental
met him?
acuity is. Look at the room around you.
Did you see the bread he just made?
Yes,
A lot of flavor.
that's why I said it.
But I love Seven Brew. But like I said, I think each coffee I've ever bought there, and I'm not slamming their prices, but they're more expensive than like Dunkin'.
Is it easy
It
to
can't
order there?
possibly
Because I'm
be more than
intimidated because I
Starbucks.
don't know what I want.
Well, the problem
Right.
is they do
That's right.
have menus, but the lines are so long that
Yeah.
they'll get to you with their like little iPads and take your order before you can even see a menu. So you do have to kind of go in
wow.
knowing.
You
That's
gotta
what I mean.
go
I
on
don't
looking
know.
at it,
I've never
yeah.
had anything, so
That's
You
why
gotta
it's
look
like
at it ahead.
the Gen Z coffee shop
They
because
just know already.
well, you go on Instagram or whatever, see what they're having
Oh.
for the week or whatever.
I call it Insta. I just call
who?
it Insta.
Insta.
What's that mean? Is that one of them?
A
Their
gram,
websites?
it's a measurement of weight.
Oh, so instant measurements.
Oh my gosh.
That makes sense. I do my own cold brew. I don't know if you guys saw the short on there.
God,
Oh
Dad.
my God.
That's
Oh my god.
What an influencer.
oh god, it's so good with like the
There's
Italian
also
sweet
no
cream.
directions or recipes or anything with that. It's just look at me making
Look at I'm
coffee.
making this. Good luck figuring it out.
Art,
So if you want to see Steve make coffee, it's up there.
Art, be careful about your gestures.
Yeah,
What'd I do?
that was weird, dude.
I'm not going to repeat
Did
it.
you almost?
I kind of get
Now
what
what's I heard this term before. I don't know what it means. What's the Gen Z stare?
Oh, that's a good. So, well, I'll start out by saying I think people group 2 things together and call it a Gen Z stare, and they're not the same. So it's what people talk about is like when you have a younger person working, and maybe you're dealing with a customer that just is asking you very silly things, or like, hey, no, we're actually out of this, and like demanding it anyway, and you kind of get that like you're just kind of zoning out at them. I call that the customer service stare
Ooh.
because like I mean it happens, probably everybody has had to do it. You're just like, I cannot believe that this
Well,
is it not clicking, like this is what
can I do a hot take on that real quick? I think COVID has made people really stupid.
The vid?
I think COVID, when we had that lockdown and people had to be secluded for that long, I think it really screwed people. Not everybody.
Well, here's the thing, and that's how it goes into the actual, what I would call the Gen Z stare, because even though I'm Gen Z, you have these younger, like, kids coming in.
Gen Alpha.
The brain rot generation. But you would, like...
Wow.
That's what it's called, brain rot.
Jesus.
They only speak in, like, internet
You see
slang.
how you talk down to the next
Every
generation?
generation has
Every
to-
generation talks down to the
I
next
know.
generation.
Good job.
I substitute teach,
Kylie,
and I
good job.
can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I'm the Rizzler.
Exactly. And I didn't even know what that was until, like, a month ago. And I'm only 23, so I
I
was
don't
like...
know what that means.
It's bad.
It's yeah. Well,
Is it
anyway, so the Gen Z stare, and I've actually dealt with this. Like a group of younger kids come in, and like, oh hey, like how are you? Just okay, yeah. Like what can I get for you guys today?
Well, now what age group are you talking about?
So-
Say, give me a number.
Well, I've seen it like in Gen Alpha, like young, like 13, 14, but
Like
I've
currently 13 or 14?
yeah,
Yes.
but
Okay.
I've also seen it in people closer to my age, like 16, 17, 18, and I'm
So like they don't know how to respond,
It's-
or they don't know
I
what they
can't-
want,
But
or
that's the
what
thing.
is it?
We can't tell if they just don't want to, or just I think with at least Gen Alpha, COVID really messed them up
That's exactly what I was going to say.
because they didn't get to socialize
Yeah,
at
Right.
all.
people talk about
So,
that all the time. That's why
I think it's a real
public
thing.
School and socialization is a thing.
Yeah, and it is important. Like I understand why the mandates were put in place, but as a result of that, it was like
They were very misguided
well,
mandates in
but
hindsight.
even so,
Well, it's
like
fine. We're not talking about that
yeah,
now.
that's
Well,
a
I'm getting
different-
into
God
it.
forbid.
No, no, no.
Oh,
They
my
were
God.
COVID.
Dad.
We're going to do a whole thing on that.
Okay,
All right,
later.
let's do a separate
Later,
one. Yeah.
not now.
I'm going to get
Please.
fired up.
Okay,
That's
but what
called
I
a spinoff.
am
Your
saying,
bread was delicious.
Thank you.
yeah.
Calm down.
What I am saying, though, is that because of those things that were put in place, no matter what your opinions are on them, it did affect the younger kids. And, like, it's like they cannot interact in real life, which is really weird because, like, I would say I'm still part of the generation that grew up on the internet. But I think that really did kind of mess them up. And, like, that's how, we get the Gen Z stare where you're,
No,
like,
I
asking a
understand
question,
that
they just,
completely.
like,
I think that with Gen Alpha, we're starting to have a distinction between growing up on the internet, like with nothing but the internet, and then there's people that grew up with the internet but also did other things. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys went out, you
Right.
did stuff like
Well, we were like the first. I think my generation was the first one to actually really be in the right age group
Yeah.
for the internet when it came out.
But Gen Alpha is the generation that kids were being handed tablets while they were
iPad
two,
babies.
as soon
yeah.
as they're babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and this
Yeah.
is what happens.
Well, Mom had
because
it-
all you have is the internet.
Mom had a daycare kid one time. She was,
boy.
I kid you not, like not even one, but like knew enough to like, I watched her like grab my mom's phone one time and like swipe up to like unlock it. And I was like,
Yeah, it's
That's
you
impressive.
are
kinda
not
scary.
even a year old
It's
yet.
sca- it's. I mean, it's impressive, but it is scary that this is all they're gonna know.
Yeah, but now you also have people
This-
my age that are like,
This is
oh,
how
that's-
Skynet starts.
Well, we're gonna get into a Planet Fitness segment at one point, but I'll preface it a little by saying that if I walk over to the dumbbell section and there's every bench is occupied and every single one of them is on their phone, one of these days I'm gonna lose it. I'm telling you right now, that is ridiculous.
Shocking.
Well, I don't understand. Every single person's like this on a bench on their phone for not like 2 or 3, 5,
yeah.
6, 7 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah,
holy
that's
shit,
a
do
lot.
a friggin' rep for Christ's
I
sake.
know that sets a lot of people off.
That is irritating. There was
So
one
we're
guy.
gonna do an episode on that though.
We're gonna do an episode, and we're gonna.
So
it
not
has
now.
nothing. It has nothing to do with you, Adam. I know you're watching. You're awesome, buddy.
I don't
Hi,
think that
Adam.
this is the last time we'll be talking about the generations, guys.
No, and I know we're getting into some pretty topics that can really branch off into other topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be kind of vague because we don't want people, especially her generation, who can't pay attention for more than 3 minutes.
That is true.
How long is a short? 90 seconds? That's about how long they pay attention
Well,
for.
actually, it's less than that. So my whole job being like an esthetician, I didn't sign up for it.
Well, you also do a lot of social media
But
work, too.
that's what I was going to say. I have to get clients. That is like a direct correlation that nobody talked about in school, but I have
Mm-hmm.
to act like an influencer. So really, I was the OG influencer
need
in
any
this
tips,
family. But
So Kylie's the influencer
I
in the
was
family.
the first one. Yeah, I would say.
Whatever.
And I actually helped him learn how to edit.
He did tell me a
50
lot about you helping him with stuff. So that does make
53
sense.
subscribers we're up to.
That tracks.
I have 1,000 followers.
Okay, whatever, dude. So does Gen Z over there. Or Y,
What?
sorry.
1,200 for film and
Okay,
stuff,
well,
but like
yeah,
Ooh,
neither one of
1200.
you, neither one of you help us out, so thanks a lot. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not bitter at all about it.
Seem a little better.
But we are going to definitely get into some more topics that are related to this topic. And if there's anything anybody else wants to see, feel free to put some comments down, good or bad. We take constructive criticism very well.
Not true. We're gonna come at you if you start leaving us brain rot comments. If you say chat, this isn't it. We're coming for you.
Chat. Oh, if you say chat.
This isn't it.
Hey, chat. What's up, chat?
We're cooked.
We're going to do some live streams where you can say chat 45,000 times like they do in them.
She just said we're.
Give me your
That's
opinion,
it,
chat.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Anybody else have anything on this topic?
Nope.
All right, like I said, any comments you guys got, feel free. Let us know what you think. We'll be back in a minute.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Two Studs and a Dud. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.